fancy intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Welcome in, Star Trek League of Men fans. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to December. I can't believe we've got less than a month left in 2025, but hey, time flies when you're having fun. Today, I want to do a quick update for a couple things for you ladies and gentlemen out there. Number one, we'll give you an independent archive update. Yep, STFC's finally given an actual timeline for a couple things I want to show you. Now, I've been telling y'all a couple of these were planned already. I'm a smidge upset that we're only going to get one in December, but good news, we will be getting one in December. So if you scroll on down, some of these have actually already been added into your avatar list that you didn't know. One of those is going to be, if I can find it quickly for this video, oh gosh, where is it? It's the Meridian. And of course, I'm struggling to find where it's at, but the Meridian is being added into the independent archives in December. And this beautiful little lady, the Mantis, is getting added in February. So those of you who've been waiting and looking for an independent archive update, there you have it. From the Overlords, we'll be getting those two updated. So December, we're getting the Meridian, and then finally in February, the Mantis. Over the next 3 months, you're going to have two ships getting added in. Yes, I of course hope more get added in, but those are the two coming, and I still, for the life of me, can't find that stinking Golden Mantis. I'm sorry, Golden Meridian. But anyway, it's on the list. It's in there somewhere. Somebody will comment down below of how Rev missed the obvious. But I also want to talk about in today's video ships themselves, special ships, and where all the ops locks are, because as more and more ships are getting added in the game, spoiler alert for those watching, by the way, within the next 3 months, you're getting another ship. I've already hinted at what it is, so if you check that, you've probably heard that, but another ship's coming in. Well, with that known, where are all these special ships? Where do they all find ops locks? And, well, of course, there's a spreadsheet for that. Now, you may be working on certain ones. In fact, we've actually taken this spreadsheet to another level where myself and Jules Verne and others have actually talked about ranking the special ships. Which ones are worth having, which ones are not. Not going to focus on that in this video, but I do want to shout it out. It's in the same spreadsheet that you can find in the comment section down below of this video. So if you are curious what ones that we say maybe aren't relevant, don't really matter, how to actually source them, all that is in this spreadsheet because we have a master sheet for this. But in terms of ships that are very important, in fact, back on my account right here, you saw several of them in the background, including the USS Relativity, which I have right here. We've got the Borg Cube, we've got the GS-31, and as you get into G6 and G7, some of these have more value, some of these have less value. Some of these will increase in value, some of them will decrease. But really knowing where you can take them is kind of part of the equation of what has more valuable or value. In this video, I'm mostly focusing on players who are going to be in that G3, G4, G5 range, though we will cover G6 as well. Simple though, if you're a G6, G7 player, obviously long-term, you're looking at maxing out your Borg Cube using your GS-31. But let's bring up the spreadsheet again and let's talk about some of those items individually. Love the power to just do that Q snap. So you have some like the Botany Bay, the North Star, there's really early ones here, or sorry, right over there, the really early ones where they don't actually have locks. There are actually a few examples of those in the game. One of my favorite being the Vidar, which you unlock at Ops 25, has no locks. You could technically max out your Vidar at Operations 25 if you wanted to, though I'm not recommending that. That's sitting at 25 for a long time for no reason. But as you get deeper into the game, almost every new special ship comes with a lock. Now, there is technically exceptions. You'll see a little lock right down there at the end. You'll go, well, Rev, what ship is that? That is the USS Vengeance. So it's a very unique case. So we actually have all the ships here. Let me go ahead and make them visible. So there you go. Look at them all down the line. So Vengeance you can technically do, but again, we're mostly focusing on our G3, G4, G5 folks. So we've got things like the Vidar you can max out immediately. The Stella, technically you can start working on that, though there are locks with the actual currencies that you get requiring you to go into the 30s. But let's look at the ops locks of the important ships. Some of these just don't have as much value as they used to. For example, unless you're really into PvP and PvP arenas, the Mantis is not the most important ship in the game, and it has a slew of different ops locks. For example, you can't max it out until Ops 50, and you see 48 is the lock for tier 11, 46 is the lock for tier 10. It has a lot of those. You actually see kind of like a different growth pattern in STFC where they went from no locks to a bunch of little locks, to then the more recent ships have kind of wide scaling locks. I want to actually use some of the ones that we talked about recently as an example. Look at the Serene Squall and the Reliant, both. Both of them have wide ranging locks. So right here, you hit level 40, you can actually take it all the way to tier 9. Same thing with the Serene Squall. You look up here at the NSCA. If you're at level 50, you can take the NSCA to tier 11, which is insanely strong for level 50, but you had to go to level 50 and there's a whole 5 tiers, 6 tiers there waiting for you. Some of the strongest ships in the game, like the GS-31, we talk about a lot, again, has kind of like an intermediary with the locks, have, you know, some have like wide paths. This one's kind of somewhere in the middle, where if you get to G6, you can already at level 62 take it to tier 12, and then you got to go all the way to 67 to take it to tier 13 through tier 15. But that means that you can max it out in the middle of G6, which can be quite valuable for a lot of players. Again, we talk about things that have a lot of high-end value. The reason we focus on things like the GS-31 and the relativity is because of that. Now, because there are those out there that would be angry if I forgot about this one, I do need to mention the Vindicator. Why do I mention the Vindicator? Because we're talking about ships that can get really strong. The Vindicator is one of those. It also operates on this method of, you know, being able to max out pretty quickly as soon as you get into G6, which can make it a very strong ship. The drawback to the drawback to the Vindicator is that it's mostly just kind of reliant on its refinery. It doesn't have a lot of use that it needs to be used at, but it does have great warp range for G6 players, can get quite strong, and a lot of players use its added warp range to go solo their G6 solo armadas. Just debatable on how good it is. And this is something that we'll have with a lot of different players and content creators debating on how good it is. In fact, we'll see over on Jules Verne's sheet, he's got the Vindicator as a skip. Some people would strongly disagree, but that's also why we like to have these type of charts and information so that more people can contribute to it. Thus, you can get a varied viewpoint. But other ops locks, I want to point out the Monavine, you can take all the way to tier 6 at level 50, and then you can max it out as soon as you hit 51. Same thing goes with the Enterprise NX-01. Same thing goes with the Voyager. You hit level 51, you get into that G5 area of the game, and suddenly a lot of these ships that might have several tiers left, you're ready to max them out already, like immediately, which can definitely be seen as a good thing. Better than some of these older styles, again, like the Mantis, where you needed to go every 2 levels to get one more tier. I definitely prefer this system, though there are exceptions, like the Gorn Eviscerator, which was built kind of similar to the old system of specialty ships, where it's go up 2 levels, get another tier. Go up a level, get another tier, instead of them being kind of bunched together. And there are pros and cons to that. One reason that I really like it as a player is take, for example, the relativity. In the G4 area, the relativity is already very strong. You get it in a G5, you have players who have 2 billion power relativities before they're even getting into G6. That obviously can give you a lot of access to things, whether it be warp range, doing the actual Chronome entities, or just simply using it to do your dailies. It's a lot of value for a lot of players, and in a lot of ways, specialty ships have become the name of the game in STFC. I mean, there's an argument to be made that you can make it all the way to the top of the top, relying solely on specialty ships. And if it wasn't for the Bohr Cube that's taking up all the screen right now, requiring faction ships to tier up, you know, you could even make an argument for skipping faction ships. But what's the fun in that? It's Star Trek. You want to enjoy Star Trek. And part of enjoying Star Trek is enjoying the ships that brought you there. So hope you enjoy the IE update and also the little bit of information that I've been getting a lot of messages about as more and more players move up quicker. When can I actually upgrade these special ships? Now you know. Let me know what you think about all this down in the comment section down below. Love you, appreciate you. Live long and plunder. Deuces. We're out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.